to engage Mr. Chris Maduka, who is standing by. Chris, good morning.
Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Charles. Good morning, Belinda. It's good to be here again.
All right, so there's a whole lot that's going on in the system, especially as it concerns the economy, in the international situation. I don't even know what you think about the latest developments between Israel and Iran. Iran is basically, pushing Israel to act, and Israel have said through Netanyahu that it's a big mistake that Iran shot over 180 missiles into Israel's territory. We're going on a short break. We'll have you react to that. Stay with us. Signature television. So earlier was talking about the Iran and the Israel conflict. I don't know what Chris thinks about it. Mr. Chris, so many persons are tilting towards the fact that if this particular issue isn't managed properly, we could see another third world unfold in our eyes. So I just want to find out if you think that Israel is going to retaliate against what Iran did to it a few days ago.
Israel is a nation that their position when it comes to global issues is very sensitive. And they have even come out to say that they're not going to react so quickly to whatever Iran is pushing them to do. Because like the Igbo proverb said, Israel has to gauge and know what is the man who is held on the ground. Uche onye jinane. You have to find out what is the uche onye jinane. The person who is actually on the ground must be thinking something. For Iran to muster the courage to, you were saying 180, but the record says 200 missiles were shot in one single operation against Israel. Now, let me put it this way. If a madman is dressed up with explosives and runs into your sitting room where you're having dinner with your family, the question is, what are you going to do? Are you going to grab him and start fighting him there and then? And then, because obviously you know what has come. It has come with suicidal tendency. And it's this issue of I kill you, I kill myself. There's this joke of our brother who said he'll buy goat and kill everybody. Now, he meant to say that he'll buy goat and kill because his wife delivered. Now, what it means is Israel has to study this situation very well. America has to study this situation very well because Russia is also on the side watching. And these are all sensitive and deliberate issues. And that brings us to a point where you say you give the lives of 7 billion inhabitants of this globe and leave it to the hands of some politicians and policymakers of the world. That's when they start dancing all kind of, some people with dancing reggae with the holding your life in their hand, dancing reggae and doing some live fire catching stunts. That's where the whole world should get involved and think about this. Because the world alignment, thank God Nigeria is non-aligned. There are a lot of countries in the world that the NATO said they are non-aligned. But how non-aligned they are now is also left to question. Because everybody is moving towards where they find their breakfast, where where the interest is. And that is what is critical about a global world where capitalism has taken the upper hand. You have few Russians, I don't think they're still practicing the socialist Marxism thing. It must have been diluted so much when the Russia fell down. That empire, that big conglomerate was cracked and they scattered. You find this, that's where the war is going. And I hope we are not trying to fulfill the book, the holy book, because everything is pointing towards the what they call it, that final showdown.
Like the countries rise against countries.
That's it. And then you find there's a word they use, which I'm finding difficult to remember now. But if that's what the end time crisis, whatever, and there's this fear that is grabbing everyone. When the stone climbs up, all the breakables below catch fire, and that's what has happened.
Right. How do you think the Africans or African nations should be reacting to this war? We know that at some point South Africa, because of their, posturing of social justice, they have actually asked Israel to stand down on what's going on in Gaza. It's more like an intimidation that Israel's most of the time pose like they are the victims, whereas they are the aggressor here. So how do you think Africans should be reacting to the war? Should they be condemning it? Should they be trying to evacuate their people? Or people have come out to condemn what Israel have done. Some others have supported what Israel have done. How should the African continent be reacting to what's going on?
Any African country who want to react to whatever that is happening now must be very careful. You know why? Because when the push turns to shove, you have to identify yourself. You will be treated with the way where you stand. So we have to be very, very diplomatic in this and still maintain that non-aligned posture and preach peace, because you don't know where the cookie will crumble. And for example, but when it gets to the point of you must declare your stand, well, it becomes the issue of whoever marries your father becomes your mother. Whichever woman becomes a wife of your father is automatically becomes your mother, and it has to be like that. So this is what has to be, and the way we have to handle it. And we pray that God will intervene. Now, that's a funny thing about the world. The people of the world will clearly take decisions that put everybody in trouble, and then some of us will recoil back to calling God. In this situation, whatever that has pushed Iran to shoot 200 missiles, nuclear ballistic missiles in one day, and look at how it has been happening. The three domes and another different capacity were able to, because what they intended to achieve were not mere feat. They really did to inflict massive and heavy injury on Israel. And come to think about it, when people say Israel is a villain, not the victim, you look at the situation very well. What? It's the same situation all over the world. What did Israel do? What is the offense? Why is everybody all eye on it, and the small country that just came into existence a few years ago, trying to survive and trying to pick their history from the Holy Book and trying to follow certain, but it's like the whole world. We know what Israel has suffered over time. And then you think that when they get the opportunity to really prove themselves that they have right to live in this world like any other person.
All right, let's bring it down. River State is boiling. Local government elections are due. The opposition is saying that the governor is not following due process, given that the judgments have stated that the elections must be stalled. But Fubara is going ahead to say today is a public holiday, tomorrow is a public holiday. We're going on with that particular elections that is due for Saturday. We all know how we got to this particular point. What's your take on this development, and how do you think this Rivers conundrum would end?
It is when the dinner goes sour. That's when you wake up in the morning and start telling people, this is what I ate last night. There is a problem already. There's a foundational issue in River State. And like you said, I've sat on this seat several times and said, Fubara is like the legendary man who everybody want to kill and then take his life. So he has decided to swallow his life inside his stomach, just to prove that he has right to be a governor, has a right to reign, decide and dispose issues in River State, just like his predecessors had done. What is his offense? That's the way Fubara we ask now. Somebody will say Fubara is the villain, not the victim, just like Israel. What? Just tell me what single offense that Fubara has committed. All the PDP states have had their local government elections, and they did what they did. APC states have their elections, and they did what they did. African states have the election, did what they did. Now you ask, like Mike Ejaga in this story. What did I do? Is that the issue you asking? What offense did he commit? That somebody after him felt that he is worthy enough to continue on the seat of governing River State and handed him power, and they were very, very open to tell the world that I made him. He's accepted, and the man said, "You made me. Allow me to breathe." You now said, "Okay, since I made you, because I bought pants for you as a man, every time I will now say, oh, remove your clothes, let me see how this pant fits you." Is it not what is the problem? And the world are watching. The elders have spoken. We can leave Fubara alone to breathe. Discuss out of this crisis. And I blame the people. The proverb in Igbo land says, it's only the yam of a madman, a stupid, foolish person. Only beribe. That's his only yam they use to prepare snake pepper soup. When we kill snake, he say, "Oh, Charles, go and bring your yam. Let's make pepper soup." Why not the next person? So if what is good for the geese is good for the gander, we can, after 80 years of governing River State, should mind that, remember that there are other people who are the pass-through, and they didn't squeeze him to death. They still allow him dispose. What is the problem? As a governor, let allow you some element of power to dispose things. I support the right of people calling governors to order, but let's use legitimate way, not intimidation, not by saying where you set fire and where you quench fire, and all those kind of we overrating ourselves as human beings. And these are mere humans that can sleep and not wake up. But you create problems that will last. That's why I said that some of Nigerian politicians do not have any element of humanity left in them. Because there are certain actions they take, they forget tomorrow.
Okay. Let's look at Atiku's proposal over 5 years, a rotational single tenure. What do you think? Do you think he's right with that proposal?
These are beautiful proposals. Now you ask yourself, that's like what I said. I'm not having anything against Atiku. I know he's also facing it. But these are how we made our math, and we are lying in it. So let nobody complain. I know he had opportunity of being at Aso Rock for 8 years with his principal. This is the issue of rotational marginalization, had been there, and we have system. That's why I describe it as his 4-year-old shit. But this is the time you find it very convenient, and I still take it with a pinch of salt. You had good 8 years of, and even after that, you were in different political parties at a high level, not just as ordinary party member. Which of the party does he belong to now? As Atiku. If he belong to PDP, fine. If he belong to APC, then push. Because he has friends across. It's not something you go to the press. Let him lobby. He has power to sponsor bill at the National Assembly. At his position. And nobody will even hear it. Will you hear it? So all this kind of them, I hope he's not playing to the gallery. Because this one cannot, a lot of people have said it before. Nobody listened. It's like the state police. People are afraid because they know why they are afraid. People who do not want the rotational presidency are the people who just felt that they bring one useless argument but what they have in mind, selfishness, believing that one set of Nigeria will continue to rule this nation, and that's where we have brought us to. Because if you allow, that's why he said they make statements that they don't believe. They preach what they don't believe. They speak when it's more convenient. They don't put it to action. How many? So what will it take us? What will it take us? A lot of things in Nigeria has played out that what is causing trouble in Nigeria is When you take, you
want to continue taking.
In Igbo land, they say, ewe, ewe, kwa. That's what causes trouble. If I take and take again, then the trouble, the next man will say, you think, say, we are here to watch you? And that's what has happened. Some people have done it, suppress the people who we want to, even when you want to say, they can classify you as anything and keep suppressing you. But these are why they find that this endless run of the locust, you suppress this generation. When they want to die, they tell their children, these are people suppressing us. And they come up again and continue to fight. So, is it not time we say, the suppression has not worked? If you have suppressed some people for 64 years, it has not brought us peace. It's only a stupid person that will continue on the same mindset of their cause problem and expecting a change. They say it every day. Even the politicians will use such words. They will not deem it fit to use that their overused words to go back and re-strategize and replan and reorganize and step down. All those words they overuse in Nigerian political atmosphere to look at this problem. So they're still speaking, playing to the gallery. I do not trust them and believe them. They have to convince Nigerians like us that what they are saying is true by saying one thing and doing it. These are people who say 1 billion things, they won't do one. And you only hear it looks nice on paper. Will paper solve the problem of Nigeria? Has paper solved the economical problem of Nigeria, which has collapsed totally? Has paper and all this talk solved the security situation in Nigeria, which has collapsed totally? Has it solved the governance situation in Nigeria, which has collapsed? Has it solved the health, education, all the sectors of Nigerian economy has collapsed? Not to go to the oil and gas. God help us.
God help us. I think that's what we cut it time because of our time this morning.
Okay. It's always better to take it in bits.
All right. Thank you very much, Chris, for your input. So we'll be taking a short break after that. We'll continue with some other segment. Do stay with us.